What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition of the Chicken Bucket Boys podcast, which is powered by Unhinged Media and PTX Media. I'm your host, Paraskevas Xenophontos. Alongside, I got my buddy, the man who's been with me since the beginning, Mr. Brian DeGennaro. How you doing today, Brian?
Fantastic.
So, for the last couple of episodes, Brian and I have transitioned the podcast into more of a debate show. Our first debate was about whether the season was going to get canceled or not. Last week, we had a debate of whether transitioning Gary Sanchez to first would be a good idea or a bad idea. We had Patrick Hennessy last week be the initiator, and unfortunately he went with Brian because he never goes with
I was right.
whatever I said. No, you're not. Come on out. Get out of here, Brian. So we got some good news. Aroldis Chapman was activated after being out with the coronavirus, but he didn't have any symptoms. He said, but the guy was working out nonstop if you saw his Instagram stories. But tonight's debate is whether – with a Chapman back, do you push him into the closer role, like what you was signed to be, or do you leave Zack Britton in that position and you have Chapman be the setup guy? So to start off things, I'm going to let Brian give his side of whether he believes Chapman should be the closer or leave Britton as the closer.
All right, cool. Well, let me start off by saying I don't think either option is a bad option. The Yankees are in a great spot. They have one of, if not the best bullpen in the league. Even with Tommy Kahnle out with Tommy John surgery, we still have Chad Green, Zack Britton, Aroldis Chapman, and Adam Ottavino, which are four really top shelf relievers. So I can't stress that enough. This debate, whichever way it goes, it really doesn't matter because there's no bad answer to it. But I think, for now at least, the Yankees should leave Zack Britton in the role of closer. And the reason is, so far this year, he's 8 for 8 in save opportunities, which is fantastic. I mean, there's only been, 21 games so far, so that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And we've only won 15 of them, so 8 saves is great. He's looked so good. He's only allowed 1 run in, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 innings so far. He just looks so good, and he's very comfortable in the closer role. I mean, he was a closer with Baltimore before he came to the Yankees. He's closed lots of games for the Yankees since then when Chapman's gone down with injuries or been out for other reasons. And he just looked great. And I don't think there's any reason to mix it up right now. The other reason is Chapman is coming back from an illness. And even though he didn't really have any symptoms, he still needs to get up to game speed. Especially for a closer, there's no substitute for actually playing in the game. Like the whole point of being a closer is that you're good under pressure. So he needs to kind of get up to speed. And I think that they should give Britton some more time in the closer role. What do you think, Para?
Well, going back to Zack Britton giving up 1 run, the last time Zack Britton has given up a run in a save opportunity was back on August 9th against Tampa. That series was the House of Horrors. So, but with Chapman coming back, I definitely believe he's the closer. Because Aaron Boone did say that he's not going to transition him to back-to-back games, whether the save opportunity is there or not. But when you look at Chapman, he's one of the top flame-throwing pitchers of all time coming in the closer role. But when the Yankees acquired him and then traded him, especially to get Gleyber Torres, you kind of knew what you were going to get out of him. Like, honestly, there have been times where Chapman has struggled. Like, his control was way off, this and that. But when I look at Chapman, he's my closer no matter what. I understand that Zack Britton has success now in the past, but coming down to the bottom of the ninth inning, who would you rather have? 2 outs?
I don't know,
would
man.
you rather have Zack? Exactly. So
I don't know. Right now, I trust Zack. Chapman, you never know with Chappie. He could, he can lose control. I mean, he's got great stuff. Don't get me wrong. And again, you can't go wrong in this situation. But I feel Zach's just been so on lately. It's whenever he comes in, I'm like, all right, we're good.
Honestly, even though this is a 60-game season, I feel like this is the best of Zack Britton we've seen as a Yankee.
Yeah.
When the Yankees acquired him a couple years ago, he was coming off an Achilles tear.
Mm-hmm.
So after that injury, his pitching stand, everything wasn't on point. But when the Yankees extended him, this is the best we've ever seen of Zack Britton because he finally got the opportunity to see the closer role. But like you said, this debates whether it's no wrong answer. But with Chapman, it's redemption year for him. Because after what happened to him in the ALCS last year, giving up the Altuve ring, Like, honestly, this is the opportunity for Chapman to go off. And if they meet again with the Astros, but by the way, I've looked horrendous this year. Their key
especially
batters are
Altuve.
batting under 200. You have Altuve, you have Springer.
Well, it's
It's
tough when you
redemption
don't know
year
what
for
pitch is
Chapman.
coming.
Exactly. That's the sad part. Like, Justice Sheffield just struck him out yesterday, I believe. Former Yankees pitcher. So, but
Yankee
realistically,
legend, Justice Sheffield.
so the next couple of series we have with after tonight's game, which is currently in a rain delay, just picked up. The Yankees have Tampa and the Mets. So regardless of, I want to see Chapman pitch.
I know you do. He can pitch the 8th inning.
No, come on, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, do you think Chapman would go for that? He'd probably be like, get the fuck out of here.
I mean,
here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Whatever happens, all I know is that Boone is gonna get annihilated for it. So if he puts Chapman in, he's gonna be like, everyone's gonna be like, why didn't you leave Britton in? If he leaves Britton in, he's gonna be like, why aren't you putting Chapman in? So
it's never a win-win situation for the manager of the Yankees, especially.
Never.
I mean, there's people that like Boone, there's people that dislike Boone, but majority of the times you dislike a manager because of his calls during a game. Well,
which have been questionable. Especially
don't get me wrong. But coming down, if it's a key game, if it's for the division, it's for the World Series, it's for a clincher, I want Aroldis Chapman throwing 98, 99. The guys became brolic over this.
He's huge, man.
Bro, imagine being tested for coronavirus, you test positive, but you're at home lifting 100-pound weights left and right, getting brolic, sweating your butt off, and then you're coming back. Like, honestly, Aroldis Chapman, I don't care what anybody says, he's the man. He's the guy you need to close out the bottom of the 9th inning. He's your saver. He's your closer. Not your saver. What am I saying?
I can't disagree. I can't disagree. The guy is great. He's,
If you're looking for speed, Aroldis Chapman's your guy.
Sure.
If you're looking for control and a nice breaking ball, Zack Britton's your guy. So regardless, like you said, this is a great debate regardless of what people think, because you have two great key lefty pitchers who have had experience in the postseason. Chapman's won a World Series. Yeah, he struggled. He threw 20-plus pitches to get the Indians out. And then you have another guy who had a great manager in Buck Showalter help him out, and he was the key guy to get everything out right after Andrew Miller did. So regardless of you agree with Brian or you agree with me, it's a win-win situation for both sides. So we thank you for tuning in to the latest edition of the Chicken Bucket Boys. I don't even call this a podcast anymore. This is a debate show now. So thank you for tuning in. Next week we'll maybe talk about Brett Gardner retiring his number in Monument Park. Maybe we'll talk about a relevant subject regarding baseball, regarding the Yankees. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Paraskevas, Xenophontos, alongside Brian DeGennaro. Have a great night and stay safe.
Bye, guys.